What up, everybody? Hope your week is starting well. Apex Legends Season 4 tips, here we go. It's awesome to see how many of you guys are still loving Apex. So, with that said, there's quite a few changes. Here are 5 easy tips that you can implement any level of gameplay into your games that hopefully will let you win more matches during Season 4. Number 1, don't sleep on Revenant. Revenant has completely come into the scene and is a direct response to some of that fortification meta that you've seen previously. And if you don't know how to play him or play against him, you're gonna struggle. So first of all, Revenant's crouch walking speed is double that of the other champions, which not only creates insane new strafing opportunities, but new flanking opportunities for flushing out enemies. When you're crouch walking, you make far less noise than when you're walking around. Utilizing this to your advantage is very easy with the Revenant because he can also climb much higher than the other champions within the game. That means he's exceptionally useful at flanking and flushing out opponents. Pair that with his ultimate ability, Death Totem, and it's absurdly good in a 1v1 fight, but do be very careful where you place it. In third-party scenarios, the totem can get taken out very easily, and if you're placing it out in the open, you're gonna have a hard time. The hitbox for the Death Totem right now is slightly detached, which can make it inconsistent to use for cover. Basically, when you stand behind the Death Totem and you try and fire, the actual model of the totem itself is smaller than that of the hitbox, so it can be sort of tricky to utilize that in a fight. The best thing that you can do with Revenant is avoiding wide open areas and utilizing him in places where there's lots of verticality and cover. He's weakest out in the open and weakest when he has to close gaps into large open spaces. He's strongest in those vertical tight spaces because he can hide the totem, he can sneak around you, he can very quickly crouch walk and get to higher places than what you can usually expect. When played correctly, however, he is an absolute blast. Make sure to call out to your teammates when you throw that Death Totem down to encourage them to utilize it in a fight. If you're in a fight against the Revenant, you want to make sure that you pull away from his area of effect as quickly as you can. The Death Totem doesn't have that big of a radius, so if you guys relocate to a new position further away or force the Revenant team into some wide open spaces, you pretty much make all of his abilities useless minus his silence. Number 2 is positioning. This is one of those simple tips that applies to every aspect of Apex Legends. Always be rotating. Always be rotating. In a losing fight, make sure that you're trying to flee out of that situation and rotate into a place where you have more advantage. Apex Legends is all about having the advantage in the gunfight. You don't have to have insane aim. You don't have to be ridiculously accurate. However, if you are not rotating and are not repositioning during losing engagements, you're gonna have a very hard time surviving and winning your matches. This is so simple, but honestly, you'll know when you're in a situation where you're at a disadvantage. If you don't have height, if you don't have easy escape routes available to you, and if you don't have the option to put your opponent in a tough spot, either through abilities or utilizing chokes, then you need to reposition, man. You need to be rotating. This will help you win more games than anything else on this list. Always be rotating and think about your position. Areas of height are huge. Shooting down on your opponents is much easier to do than being on the floor and trying to shoot back up at them. Number 3, don't fight for too long without moving. Apex has always been known for being a very third-party heavy game, and the Season 4 map changes, I believe, has made it even easier to execute. Granted, they did open up a few of the areas here, but for the most part, if you're in a fight for too long, you need to plan on the fact that a 3rd and 4th team are probably coming to clean up those kills. You can use this to your advantage as well. If you hear a gunfight taking place not too far away, try and always engage during the middle of that fight. Third-partying enemies is much easier than going against a squad who has full shields, full health, and is aware of your position. This goes back to number 2 also. If you end up getting 3rd and 4th partied in a fight, it's better to get out of there, reposition, and try and come back. The longer you can keep your squad alive in a 3rd and 4th party situation, the higher likelihood you have of winning.
Knocked one of their shields.
We're gonna get flanked. If we can run away, that'd be helpful. Let's run away. Back away. We've got a minute and a half. Back away. Another one.
Hit his shields.
Knocked him. I killed him.
That's it.
Go push in. Now. We can get away here. Oh, jeez. Oh.
Where? Oh, he's got gold armor. Nice. Really hurt. Nice.
Recharging my shield.
Oh, another one. Yep, looking that way.
Got them. They're dead.
Shield
They're all dead. They're all dead. Number 4 is an oldie but a goodie. Play with a consistent group of friends and communicate. No friends to play with? Still communicate. But you need to play a little bit differently in a solo queue scenario. Obviously, it'd be really cool if they brought back solos and duos full time, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case with Season 4, probably just limited time events. When you're solo queuing in matchmaking, you need to be a shot caller. Unless there's a strong leadership element on your team, which rarely happens when you get paired up with randoms, you need to be ready to call the shots. If everybody's just running about doing their own thing, it's not going to lead to winning opportunities. This one is a bit easier said than done because there's always those tough teammates to work with who don't communicate and who don't listen to instruction. However, that shouldn't discourage you. Take a leadership position and begin communicating with your team where you want to go, what you want to do, and how you should engage. And don't be afraid to say, hey, I'm far away from you, teammate, don't take that fight. Or let's rotate out of here and try and get a better position. Having a shot caller is mandatory, and I think the people who solo queue in general complain about it being unfair because they're not taking that leadership position. Be kind about it, communicate with your teammates, and I guarantee you'll win more matches. Obviously, if you have a group of friends to play with, you're going to improve a lot more, and you're probably going to win a heck of a lot more games. Number 5 is learning the map. It's okay to hop into some games just to figure out different areas of the map. Don't just drop in the same position over and over again. Not only do we have the new weapon rack features, but the loot tables have changed dramatically. You've got weapons that previously would have been available that are now crate-only weapons. They've changed some of the drop chances of the armors, and if you're not taking the time to learn it, you're not going to utilize the map to its full advantage. So spend some time doing drops in different areas and maybe not focused on the win as much as exploring every nook and cranny of the modified Season 4 map. Just like in Season 3, there are going to be some high traffic choke points that become very, very common as the season progresses. The more you play, the more you learn about these chokes and how to utilize them to your advantage. There's a difference between just grinding games, however, and playing with a purpose. Go into each game with an attempt to try and improve at one aspect or learn one new element of the map. And with that said, those are my 5 tips right now for Season 4. Again, don't sleep on the REVENANT. He's pretty awesome. Positioning, always be rotating. Be aware that if a fight goes on for too long, a third and fourth party is likely around the corner. Play with a consistent group of friends, or if you're playing solo, be a shot caller, and finally, take the time to learn the map. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. How are you liking Season 4? Did I miss any tips that you guys would like to share? Good luck in your matches. I hope you get lots of games where you're the champion squad, and I will talk to you again in the next video. If you enjoyed, subscribe, follow me over on Twitter, and I'll see you again next time.
I'm reviving myself. Just keep watching.
Reloading.
Right on me. On me.
You're in a kill zone.
Attention, the kill leader has been eliminated.
Nice.
You're in view of the enemy.
Yes, dude! What a play! What a play, bro.
Good job, you guys. Good job.